Now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
That's right, friendos. The time for going with the flow is done. It is now the time for taking charge, taking leadership, starting a new cycle. Yep. It's the promotion that nobody asked for. Oh God. Let's talk about it. Hey Cosmic Cuties, it is your friendo, the Lady Ms. Vagina Jenkins, and this is another Time for Queer astrology video. Today's video, absolutely inspired by Allie K. John. She is an astrologer over on TikTok, and she made a video last week where she was talking about how Saturn, Jupiter, Neptune are changing signs this year. But the part that I missed when I made my video earlier in the year, which I'll link up here somewhere, the part that I missed was how they were changing signs from mutable signs to cardinal signs. And so I wanted to talk about this change through that particular lens. Because yeah, in that video, I definitely marked that it felt like the end and the beginning of a cycle, since we're moving from Pisces placements, which is the 12th and final sign of the zodiac, into Aries placements, which is the start of the zodiacal wheel. But yeah, I did not clock the change in modality and what that could mean for us. By the way, I am recording this on a Monday, the Monday of the Scorpio full moon. Apparently, in Chinese Bazi astrology, this is a snake day of the snake week of the snake year. So the shedding. Is anybody else particularly weepy? Like, I feel the tears just pooling just behind my eyes. It has been an emotional last couple of days. Oh, just had a platonic friend breakup. I'm not complaining and I don't need anything about it, it has just been an emotional couple of days. Holler if you feel me. Scorpio moon friends, is this how you live? How do you live like this? I'm okay. We're okay. It's gonna be okay. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Okay, I'm gathering myself. Gather. Okay, I'm back. I'm focused. Yeah, so Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter changing signs from mutable signs to cardinal signs. The transits named are Neptune moving into Aries, Saturn moving into Aries, and Jupiter moving into Cancer. And I want to break down each one of those transits and talk about what we might expect as a collective before we go into like the meat of the video where we talk about the modality shift. So the first transit that I want to talk about, and we've touched on this already a little bit in that earlier video, but Neptune's ingress into Aries. The dates for that. Let's see. Neptune entered Aries March 30th, where it will be until October 22nd of this year. Then there'll be like a retrograde moment back into Pisces, and then January 26th of next year, 2026, through 2039. So this is a long range transit. It's not anything to necessarily be up in arms about. Because of these longer range transits, they tend to like unfold slowly over this period of time. My one caveat would be if you have any planetary placements in the early degrees, like 0 to 5 of Neptune, this might be a time where you feel it more acutely than other people do. But still, it is the kind of transit that unfolds over time slowly. This is not a jolt to the system. This is a reimagining of the system. I say that because Neptune is so much in charge of the ways in which hope, blind optimism, faith, and experiences of spirituality rooted in faith can sustain us. And so with the Neptune and Aries transit, I would definitely imagine something along the lines of like an action-centered spirituality or sense of faith, or imagining the world that you want to create for yourself and actioning it. That's Neptune into Aries. And then the next transit that I wanted to look at is Saturn moving into Aries. So Saturn enters into Aries May 24th till September 1st of this year. Then it'll have its little retrograde in Pisces moment. And then February 13 of 2026 all the way through April 12th of 2028. So we'll have, about 2.5 years of Saturn in Aries time. And this is the place that feels very much like a new cycle of things, because Saturn asks us to put in work. And Saturn in Aries is very much the work of prioritizing the self, prioritizing action, and actionable items that you can work towards over time. Basically, what are some systems, structures, little pieces of work that you could do every day over the next 3 years that foster your sense of self-autonomy, agency, independence? What are the structures that you can put in place and the work that you can do that will allow you to assert and express your selfhood in the world? Again, this is a slow transit that's unfolding over the next 3 years. And Saturn just asks us to put in a little bit of work every day, brick by brick, working towards this goal of Saturn in Aries and self-assertion, autonomy, and prioritizing the self. And then there's the transit of Jupiter moving into Cancer. Jupiter will enter into Cancer June 9th through June 30th of next year, 2026. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, meaning Jupiter is not only comfortable in Cancer, but this is the place where it gets to really express itself as an honored guest. I think about Jupiter and what it's all about. I think about mental expansion. I think about changing your mind, broadening your horizons, that kind of energy. It's definitely an expansive energy. Kind of opposite to what Saturn wants to do, which is to constrict and find a container. Jupiter wants to break out of that container and understand more, wider, foster a sense of freedom. So with Jupiter moving into Cancer, I fully expect some sense of mental expansion based on emotional leadership, or maybe emotional safety and feeling protected in the world. Yeah, I'm very much thinking about the idea of like, how do we create safety for ourselves that fosters the space for us to expand our consciousness. Yeah, those are 3 of the transits that I'm thinking about for this year, just because they are slower and so much more life-changing than some of the transits that we experience that are a little bit shorter in scale. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'd definitely been looking at these transits in terms of, moving from Pisces to Aries. That means it's the end of the cycle and the beginning of a new cycle. And that's absolutely true, but then also the part about modality. The modalities are one of the ways in which we describe like the qualities of the different signs. To recap, you could describe a sign by gender. If you were into gender binaries, you could describe a sign according to temperature, hot or cold. You could describe a sign according to its flexibility. Is it wet or dry? You could also describe a sign according to the elements. Is it fiery? Is it airy? Is it watery? Is it earthy? And in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can describe a sign according to its modality. Is it cardinal? Is it fixed? Is it mutable? And these three qualities are known as the quadruplicities because there are 4 signs in each one of those qualities. For example, the cardinal signs are Aries and Libra, Cancer and Capricorn. The fixed signs are Taurus and Scorpio, Leo and Aquarius. And the mutable signs are Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Virgo. And cardinal, fixed, mutable, what does that mean? So I like to give the example of creating the seasons. So we know that the first sign of the zodiacal wheel is Aries, and it wants to create the season of spring. So as a cardinal sign, Aries is going to be the sign that puts forth the idea, gets people excited to get on board. Maybe it's the public face or the leader of this idea. And it is putting forth the idea that, yes, we want spring to happen. And then Taurus comes along and picks up the ball as the fixed sign who has committed to seeing this idea through to the end. It will be the sign that is working on the idea, that is loyal, committed, stable, and sustaining the idea. And then we have the next sign of the zodiacal wheel, which is Gemini, which says, let's transition. Yes, I understand that Aries put forth the idea of spring and that Taurus is working on the idea of spring, but Gemini says there are other seasons. Could we adapt, change, flow, transform into the next season of summer? And then that's when Cancer picks up the ball and says, yes, I put forth the idea of summer, and this is what I want from summer. And then that cycle continues throughout the 4 seasons. And so, yeah, Aries is the first of the first. So when I'm thinking about the modalities of the signs, I'm often thinking about just a couple of key words. I think about cardinal signs as leadership and needing to take charge of and manage a particular thing. When I'm thinking about fixed signs, I'm thinking about sustaining and staying committed to an idea, staying fixed on it. And then when I'm thinking about mutable signs, I'm thinking about going with the flow and transitioning. Now, I would encourage you to look at your chart now through this lens. Where is it? What houses are you meant to take leadership in versus what houses are you meant to stay the course and sustain this work in versus what houses in your chart are you meant to be going with the flow in? I'll give you an example. For me, I have my 2nd house in Capricorn, which is one of the cardinal signs that is about leadership, management, taking control. The 2nd house is about one's material resources, and it can be said to be about how we earn money in the world. For me, with the 2nd house in Capricorn, I don't have any other planetary teachers there, but I can still garner quite a bit of information by understanding the modality of Capricorn and understanding that as it relates to earning money and my material resources, I am one who needs to be in charge, to be a leader, to be an entrepreneur in that way. So I encourage you to look at your chart through that same lens. What are your 12 houses? Who rules each one of your 12 houses? And find out the modality that is being expressed in each one of your 12 houses. And then once you have that in mind, then we can add on the transits of it all. So for example, if Neptune is moving into Aries, what house in your chart is ruled by Aries? How is your natal chart telling you to take leadership? So for example, maybe you have a 5th house in Aries like me. This could be the experience of taking seriously and managing your creative self-expression. With Neptune transiting this house over the next 14 years, how will taking charge and taking leadership in your creative self-expression be informed by the space to dream, to move by faith and not by sight, as the Christians be saying? How will you be actioning your dreams of creativity and self-expression? Last thing I'll say about the modalities and Aries and Cancer in particular is, yes, if the cardinal modality is about leadership, when I think about Aries as a type of leadership, this is a leadership rooted in inspired action. Whereas Cancer's form of leadership could be the leadership of understanding emotional responsibility, or the energy of emotional protection. Leading through nurturing is also something that comes to mind. I hope this makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Bottom line, Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, Jupiter in Cancer, it's time to put in work, 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 work. Speaking of work, if you would like to support my capacity to continue the work of making videos like this one, please consider becoming a member of this channel. Membership in this channel starts at $3.99 a month, and you get really cool perks like custom emojis and loyalty badges. You also get to see content before it's published to the general public. And it's an amazing way to support your favorite Black, queer, autistic artist and astrologer. If that financial commitment seems outside your capacity, I absolutely understand, and would welcome instead a one-time gift using that thanks button below. It's kind of like a tip button. And if neither of those options feel doable for you, don't forget the value of commenting and the value in being in conversation with me. How it boosts me in the algorithm, but also lets me know that you're watching and you're engaged and curious about what I'm talking about. At any rate, I absolutely appreciate you for watching this video and making it thus far. As always, thank you for watching, commenting, engaging, being subscribed, and for making time for queer astrology. Thanks, friends. Bye.